when you start creating and you allow some fucking robot to come in and finish your song, you're cutting yourself off from the divine. And let me not even get that deep with it. What I think you're doing is you're doing something that's, in a sense, demonic.
Everything, and that's the problem. When I can get to a point where I don't need you. So let's talk about automation on a real basic level, and I'm gonna take y'all all the way up. And when I get deep into this, you'll fully understand, right? Before, the line used to be a bunch of men and women.
We're gonna John's Wall. We're gonna bring you in,
cars, right? And we got to automation to where, why do I need human beings screwing in these screws, creating these cars? I can get machines to do this, right? It was the death of Detroit. The auto industry in Detroit left. So my older cousins who was in management, they survived, yeah, but the people, the playing field of what happened was the people that was my mama and my daddy age that gave the jobs and worked all the way to manager, and they had their sons and their daughters on that line. Now the sons and the daughters don't have no job because literally a computer is screwing in the car. You understand what I'm saying? It cuts out all of those jobs. Detroit falls. The U.S. car industry falls. So you, personally, you made your money. And that's great. Black man make your money. But you one person. What happened to the rest of the people that worked on the line? They out of a job because a computer now comes in and is able to create the car. So what I'm talking about is the ecosystem, bro. The ecosystem, and eventually your taste is going to be put. Do you again, when you see me looking down, I'm not lying to the people. I wrote this shit down so I remember.
No, hold on, let me tell the people, Guru is my guy. This is the guy who's going to give us the real. That's why you here.
Right, my brother. No, of course, it's all in love. And if everybody look at my comments, I want to reinforce that, Tim, because that's even more than the topic that we're talking about. This is the way that we teach the youngins, bro. I'm 51 years old, right? I'm trying to explain to my 18-year-olds about arguing versus building. This is the way we used to build, y'all. This is the way we used to build. So this is my brother. I love him to death. If you look at all of my comments, it says in love, right? So a lot of the way that I argue is through asking questions.
I love it. You know, I've been knowing you for years. I watch you do it. Yeah. You haven't seen yourself. You don't let me go there. Come on now. I know how you get down.
Right. But it's important, Tim. It's bigger than the issue, you know what I'm saying, between me and you. It's about how do you build. I'm asking questions. So my thing is not, yo, you wrong, you doing this, you doing that. Got
it.
So if we look at, like, okay, the rate of change is something that people don't understand. So if you look at AI doubles in power, 5 to 7 months, doubles. So when you say, yo, my taste, it's gonna look at what your taste was. And I don't think people understand exponential, right? Versus linear. Linear is I add by 1 and 2 and 3. Exponential means it doubles every time. So I could sit here with, that's like Jay and them playing Guts. I never play Guts with them. You know why? Because if you put $100 in there, the next time it's 200. The next time it's 400. The next time it's 8. Do you realize how fast you could lose $50,000 playing Guts with Jay? Because it's exponential.
He gonna make you lose the 50 grand. That's the exactly.
I ain't playing Guts with Jay 50,000 anywhere.
Exponential is a different thing. This is how fast AI is working. So it's going to look at your taste. It's going to look at what the people reacted to, and it's going to go, okay, I'm learning. We're feeding the beast. And we stopped doing it off of instruction. Now we asking AI to make other AI. This is like, and I was on the car thing, right?
John Wall's like he like you, boy. This guy in the chat, John Wall, he like what you saying. Keep talking. He owes.
If we did just dealing with the car thing, look at what it did to Detroit, bro. My family is from Detroit. Look at what it did. So not only does it affect my cousins who were supposed to be on the next line, it affected everybody in the community. So now when that thing drops, when it's no longer those things in Detroit that are building cars, not only does it affect Ford. Not only does it affect whatever car dealership is there, it affects the hot dog vendor that sold hot dogs to them at lunchtime. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It affects everybody in the music business.
Well, okay, go ahead.
So it affects everybody in the music business when it goes, okay, I no longer need a Sean Garrett. I no longer need a Neo. Because we write in the songs based off of what they did already. But you actually using Neo and Sean Garrett's writing style to be able to write hits for Beyonce, to be able to write hits. Imagine if I took all of Aaliyah's work and I said, I'm gonna train this so we no longer need Aaliyah. We no longer need Missy. What?
So no, hold on. I gotta.
No. You're right, but it's not. It don't do that.
I got a question.
I know what you're saying.
The market doesn't accept the copies. You know what I'm saying? Like the market, people can push a copy, but it ain't gonna really go nowhere, right? Like,
yes, it will. Bro,
meaning like if it tripped, but it tripped the wires and it got taken down, right? Like the people responded.
It got taken down because we said
because the market rejected it. People rejected it.
We said to the Grammys, there's no way that you can allow for an AI to be up for a Grammy. But there was a Drake and Weeknd song that was created by somebody that's not Drake and Weeknd that was up for a Grammy. Are you kidding me?
My question is this. When
I'm getting hype.
But
that's the good stuff because people, like John, like these guys, and independent produce. Everybody has these questions, so these are things that it's great to bring up.
My question is this: like when sampling came out, right? Like you guys were the OGs, right? When sampling came out, there was the same conversation, I would imagine, because I wasn't personally there, being had amongst the session musicians that are saying, yo, wait a minute, you can put all these sounds in an ASR 10? Oh, so we don't have session musicians in the studio anymore. And so the only question I'm having is, okay, we've seen that happen then, and then hip hop music was leveraged off of this new technology that allowed people to copy in a different way. Right, and all I asked about what do we do when the battlefield changes? Like there's no putting the toothpaste back in the tube, right? Like there is no removing sample machines off of the market.
I'm gonna cut you off on purpose, right? Let me say that. Let me make it absolutely clear. I'm an optimist. You are not going to stop AI. Let me be clear. I think people, because that was one of the things I want to address when people was like, oh, you're not going to stop. Of course, it's here. You're not going to stop it. What I'm talking about is regulation and the way that we have to think about it to be able to move to ask what we asking for. So stay on that same thing that you're talking about sampling, right? When we first came out, we was just sampling free, right? We was just sampling free and nobody was getting sued. And then it came to the people being like, yo, you using my music. So, okay, of course, now we have sample clearance. The big case that brought it all to fruition was the Biz Markie case when they actually took Biz's album off the shelf, right? Because, yo, you can't just freely take somebody's music. So that's why we have sample clearance. Me and Ninth Wonder spent we could have been put Ruben Vincent album out. You know why? Because why it's not out? Because of the fact that we're going through sample clearance. We're going to properly pay everyone that we sample from. Now, first of all, sampling the way that we do it is to take something and to say, yo, I'm reimagining this, but I'm giving you credit and I'm actually paying you for it. Right? AI is not paying the people that they're training this thing off of, number one. Number two is that sampling is a collage of us saying, how can I take whatever you did and reimagine it? Tim doing I Can't Stand the Rain is a completely different imagination of that record put in a different way. That's a sample. So that's a false equivalent to try to say that sampling and AI is the same thing. It's not. We credit the people that we take the music from. It's an art form because we say we're a collage of everything. But the biggest thing is that we have law. That's all I'm asking for. If you look right now in the United States, I cannot have a copyright on my voice. I can have a copyright on a composition, but I can't have a copyright on my voice, which means that if you take Biggie lyrics, you gotta pay for that. But if you take Biggie voice, you don't have to pay for that.
That's name and likeness. That be in the terms and conditions.
The voice has to be added to NIL. Name, image, and likeness. It has to be added. It has to be. That's when Tim said, what are the things, when we in this thing of like, what are we asking for? Because we know it's here. and we know it's not going nowhere, how do we shape the law? How do we look at the problems? And I'm not like I'm not a populism nigga. I'm sorry, I say the word nigga. I hope y'all understand what populism is.
No. But let me say something. I'll look at somebody in the chat say,
okay, go ahead.
And y'all two know me. Somebody said, Timbaland be up here stealing people music and training people music.
We already addressed that. Yeah.
No. Guru, I don't think I think I did, but it's me. Like,
no.
But it's me. I'm here to upgrade you. Why would I want to train off of something that I'm helping you get better on? I have my own music. I can't train something that I don't own. I don't own. You know, like if I had an AI company that you can upload, I can train you. I can't do that.
You still need millions of songs.
Yeah, I can't train you. I could just listen to your music. I can't do that. I can't.
I think you need to make that point clear, Tim, because the music, let me say this, the platforms are being trained off of music, but you need to make a separation between you're not doing that versus the rest of the AI is doing that. The rest of the AI is training off of our music. So again, this goes back to my legal thing of like, okay, the simple solution is you gotta pay me for that. The same way that when we came in to streaming, right? We tried to sue our way through it. Mm-hmm. We had Napster and all that other stuff. I was in Def Jam. And I was like, this ain't gonna work. Because if you sue Napster, tomorrow they're gonna make Papster. And then if you sue that, they're gonna make Tapster. And then it doesn't matter. But it needs to be some compensation for you training this thing off of my music. Because the concentration of wealth, the concentration of... I wrote this thing down. It's called FACE RIP, right? So that's freedom, accountability, concentration, economics, innovation, and power. What we really giving up is that innovation and that power. So it shouldn't be in the hands of one person. We trying to make sure that it doesn't go to just one person and one person owns it. It gotta be with the people. It gotta be with creativity, and you gotta own it, and you gotta pay me every time that you use any of my IP. That was my problem with what Ray said. When he was like, yo, Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse is AI. No, it's not. That's a man sitting down with a blank piece of white paper and drawing a character. And somebody created a whole empire. Create a whole empire. I'm talking about from rides to a whole, now you can go to a whole like thing based off of these two characters. That's my IP. You gotta pay me every time that you use my two characters. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. It's not about, are we gonna fight AI? Let's be clear, AI is here. We know that it's here. It's about how do we get properly compensated? How do we look at the past, look at our mistakes of not owning our intellectual property, and how do we get this into the government so that we can get paid?
How you get into the, well, it's already into record labels. You do know that, right?
No, of course.
Now they're working that out.
I know that sooner they had the meetings.
Yeah, so they had, but then it's like, cause then it gets deeper to it. Then it gets into the Spotify realm. So it's a whole nother can of worms going on. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
but instead of me complaining about it, all I try to do is intellectually think about how can I benefit my people. When we got into streaming, I've been told them, I said, yo, you need to figure out a way. My idea for streaming when it first started was not the way that it is right now, where somebody pays $9.99 and you get access to all the music. My idea is if I stream all Timbaland music for a whole month, he should get the majority of my $9.99. That's how I thought it was going to be.
Man, you shitting me.
That was my thought.
But they put everybody in that phone. And on the top ones.
There's never going to be a removal of music from the streaming service. Motown always going to be on there. James Brown always going to be on there. Bob Marley always going to be on there. We can go to rock and roll. We can go to anything you want to go to. But if I only listen to these artists, let's take Timbaland. Let's say me, Guru. I only listen to Timbaland music, anything, from Aaliyah to Genuine to Justin Timberlake to anything that you've ever done, and that's the only thing that I streamed for, you should get the majority of my $9.99. That's how I saw it going, but that's not how it went.
Okay, so what do you propose now that we have that and we have AI on top of that?
What I'm saying is, okay, let's the AI should be, it's going to get good enough. It's there almost.
But I'm just saying, we talking about laws now. We talk, cause that's what you really complain. You like, and exactly what I was telling you earlier. I said the problem with people is not AI, it's the regulations.
Right. Laws, regulations.
When I tell you that earlier, I said it's when I said I got an AI artist. I don't have no. How can I own an AI? It's not nothing to own.
No, okay. So let me deal with the regulation, and then Tim, I want you to answer.
Okay, yeah.
Not answer, but build more on you talking about the AI artists. So when I say regulation, my thing is not populism. I said that word before, right? And for the audience, populism is like when you say this is wrong, that's wrong, but you don't have no plan of fixing it. All you doing is just saying what's wrong. Sit down, think about how, that's like me saying, oh, I want free education and free healthcare, but you ain't sat down and thought about what the financial cost of free education is. How are we gonna pay the teachers? How are we gonna pay the doctors if we got free healthcare? This is a real thing. So sit down and think about it. I'm just using that as an example of when we go to Washington and we say this is what we want, we have to sit down and think about what are the things that we've thought about and all the ways that we see that this hurting us. Preventative maintenance of like, yo, you could do this with this, you could do this with this, you could do this with this. The same thing with AI, where I'm like, there's positives and negatives. Let me give the people an example, and then I'm gonna bring you all the way back so that you can explain to people, because that's important for me, Tim, because people is questioning your integrity, and I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? let me just say, Goo don't like that. Goo don't like y'all questioning my man's integrity, even just because me and him disagree. I don't like that shit off top. But let me give you this. If I come to you and I say, okay, I have people in Washington that can write a bill that could say how much this is. Let's figure out what we actually want, what it looks like, how much we supposed to get paid, how is this a viable business, right? Because people don't think about that. And we actually write that into law. We have the power to go to, my man is the mayor of Newark, New Jersey. I have, people in DC that got real power. These are the things that we talk about with the Grammys, but the Grammys is really a music organization, but don't nobody care about the Grammys until you're worried about what outfit you're wearing to the Grammys, right? The Grammys run all year long.
Yeah.
And it's for music empowerment. I'm trying to get to all these points, right? So let's put together a plan of what we feel as though will be equitable for everybody.
For creators.
And we take that to Washington and we say, this is what we should be being paid off of streams, right? This is what we should be paid off of if somebody trains off of our AI. It may be micropayments, but those micropayments add up.
I like that.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree to that. I agree to that. So, but then it's like, it's above my pay grade, but like.
No, it's not. It's not.
No. Because I'm with you on that, and I'm gonna go to my brother Zay. I'm talking to him like if he was the CEO of the company, how would you respond to me? Because I feel like
which company?
Like you are an AI company, and we're coming to you like what he just said. What kind of laws? How do we get paid? How would you?
I mean, there's AI companies now that are trying to make the framework to address the lobbyists, right? They're coming up with like fingerprinting ways and, ways that would make creations easier to track. And, those are ideas. But
here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. When the streaming services first set up, right? There's so many things in the music business that the streaming services didn't understand. So let's take, for instance, you're not properly paying the artists, right? Let alone you're not properly paying the writers. Then when the writers start to come complain, let's take a song like, I don't know, I'm going off the fly, but let's take a song like Butterfly, right? the thing has to know that there's a difference between the Michael Jackson version of Butterfly and what's shorty that wrote Butterfly? Yeah,
Well,
we have to know. Yes, we have to know that there's a difference between those two. The algorithm has to see a difference. And then there's a Mariah Carey version of Butterfly. Like, we can't just go off the name of the song. So once we understand that, we have to be able to tie that back not only to the artists, but also to the writers and the producers, so that everybody has equity in this and everybody is getting paid.
I like what one DJ Soul said. He said blockchain technology.
Yeah, the blockchain.
I like what he said that. I like he said that.
We have to be able to. So we have to be able to lock in the blockchain. But before we can get the blockchain, we have to be able to verify it. And anybody that understands blockchain knows that we don't question. We just verifying blockchain.
Some people saying smart contracts.
That's it. We just verify.
So I like that. So smart contracts. So maybe we need to make new contracts and present them.
No, that would be a beautiful thing.
Because it's new contracts. Because what was once before is not today. So the thing is, how do we hit everybody? Because AI is here. It's going to be a great tool. It's going to be like everything else. People going to go crazy with it, but then it's going to be some miscommunication in it, right? Some loopholes.
No, but what you got to throw in there. I don't know if I'm delayed or whatever. Right? I see my internet is going slow. But what you got to throw in there is human greed. That's what people miss. We do these.
Oh man! But guess what? Guru, come on, bro. We been on this earth too long, bro. It's over. It's here. What that nigga? There's 2 of us against 1,000. The scammers gonna get extra scammy. It's about to go crazy with that. Like that. That is one of my fears. That is one of my fears. That is my fear because
this is a reality. Again, I'm gonna keep going back to this concept, Tim, of people talk about chess, and chess is a strategy game, but chess is not real life. There's no emotion in it. So when you talk about scammers, when you talk about me trying to protect my mother because she getting emails that's talking about, yo, you need to call this thing and that, yeah, it's scammers in real life, bro. It's scammers in everything. So when you add that to the reality of what we doing, people are going to try to scam. So if we looking at the music business and we saying, yo, okay, if we're gonna make this equitable for everybody, we gotta make sure that we take that into account. Imagine this. I was gonna do this later, right? I was gonna do this later when I start getting into just outside of the music business and what AI could do possibly to humans. You gotta really understand why I'm so against, like, I'm not against AI. I'm trying to warn people because I know so much about it. So you gotta realize that at some point, a little girl is gonna get a phone call from somebody that sounds like her mother.
I agree.
And it's gonna be like, yo, meet me at the park.
But Guru, that already happened.
No, let me finish, Tim. Let me finish. And somebody gonna kidnap this little girl. You gotta understand that somebody gonna get a phone call and it sound like they son. And it's gonna go, hey, ma, I forgot the code to the security thing on the house. Imagine you get a call from your wife. Was like,
I feel like,
what's the security code again?
I feel like we're having a conversation about AI as a whole, and really, we addressing generative AI, right? Like the creative side of it, like what we can do and how we can use it as a tool, and how, you know, what the vision is with, because digital artists exist, right? Like this isn't it's not a new idea, but if I could steer it back to, because I know AI as a whole, you know, you want to address the singularity, I get it. But when we talk about what creators can do and how we going to address it now that it's out in the open, right? Because we gotta wrestle with it. We gotta figure out a new way to monetize. Currently, we have a system that everybody admits is broken. We've addressed it on this live. A lot of people have addressed it. We still using the old system, right? So instead of knocking the new thing and rejecting the new thing, all we're saying is, hey, what if you combine it this way and this? Like, for example, you could drop a song online right now today, but these algorithms aren't trained to push it even to your audience off of it being audio alone. So it's like, for the longest, video trends up, it's media, it's multimedia, it's other things that are a vessel to share the music, right? And so it's all that is saying, okay, what's another way that we can get this music out? What's another way that, you know, we can leverage these tools that are out here? Because it's not created to share music by itself, right? Music has to be attached to something else. It might be on a cat video. Right now, the Yeti AI videos are going crazy. If we dropped a Yeti AI song, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. People would be like, oh, that's funny. That's kind of hard. Look at the video that just entered, not the video, the song that just entered Billboard, TikTok's Billboard. And Kylie Jenner, I believe, used it on her on the background on a makeup video, and it entered the chart because it got all these remixes. And that person entered the chart, and people realized afterwards, oh, it's an AI song, and they wanted to not use it anymore, even though it gave them a happy feeling, right? So it's like, what do we do about it? It's out here. I understand all the shoulds, the coulds, the woulds, and, you know, all that, but realistically, we do have a broken system. People currently don't want to pay to go to concerts to see real artists, don't want to pay to get real, don't pay $10 to an artist anymore individually, but they want
I disagree
music.
with that, but go ahead, Bill.
I'll give you this one example. It's a good example I saw online. It was a guy, he was explaining his frustration. He was listening to a song. He was cleaning up around the house. He put on a YouTube station with some music, and it was about 4 hour long, you know the ones. And halfway through, he's like, yo, this thing sounds generated. And he got mad, like, I can't believe I got tricked into listening to generated music for 2 hours. And somebody in the comment was like, did you ever think that maybe the reason why they made it generative is because you put on someone's art and soul to listen to passively for free in the background on YouTube? Like, people are finding it, music is very accessible, and like, in a way, artists don't necessarily like get the awe of putting their soul in. And so it's like, it's a catch-22 where it's like, yo, I don't want to become an influencer to become a musician, but in a way I need to do one thing to catch the other. So it's like, okay, we're all saying the same thing. All we're saying is, yo, there's new tools that's gonna change how we address these issues. And we can argue about how we address it for sure. Like, hey, well, why would you do da-da-da-da? Okay, you know, it doesn't mean Tim's not working with real artists. It's not all that, no, you know, all the things. But the real point is just like, hey, let's find a way to get these things, like every individual musician has a task to get their music out there. And whatever way that is, that's on them, right? If it's a cat video, if it's a Yeti video, if it's a digital artist, if it's a real artist, if it's the old way, the new way. All I'm trying to advocate for and bring out, and we watching the chat, everybody, we watching all the chats, is what do we do about it now that these tools are out there?
How do I see the chat, yo?
Yo, I want to bring in this dude. Like he said, John. I think he got good points. Can we bring in somebody?
John. Oh, here, yo, on John. Check your DM on IG. John Sway. That's what you talking about?
Yeah, bring John in. We can bring people in. I just want to hear other people.
Hey, Guru. Also, man, the system, it's way broken, man. Like you know, you came up in a time where an engineer could be on a big album and make a check, right? Make a good check. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I got songwriters and producers now that you know, they land on a major artist project and, you know, make $1,500. And mind you, there was years and years and years where that wasn't the case. I mean, they could get on Lotto album, for example.
You telling me engineers making $1,500?
No. What I'm saying is, I know songwriters that are on an album that's charting and made $1,500 on that in total.
How many writers is on a song?
Oh, well, okay, so let's just say they got 10% of the song that charted, right? They may make $5,000, $10,000 max. We talking about people that are focused their entire life on being songwriters and producers, all to land their dream placement and still not make no money because streaming ain't paying no money. It's a totally different game. It's a totally different game. And speaking to
yeah, but is it I swear to God, I hate cutting you off, but you making great points that I want to address. Right. So can you hold that thought?
No. I got it. And also, like, speaking of Timbaland, for example, right? Mm-hmm. I'm an indie across the board, right? I use Timbaland's platform. I use Timbo I Do over a year and some change ago, right? Timbaland hears a song, has no attachment to me whatsoever, does a song reaction. 2 days later, I got every A&R in the country calling me based on seeing me on Timbaland's platform. A month and a half later, I do a humongous deal with a brand new artist.
Still won't fight me, man.
On the DSP.
But you understand you want
For what, man? For what, John? For what, man? Why you want to choose violence?
I'm speaking to the people that are in the chat, thinking that Tim is trying to take advantage of all these things. Like, listen, we're not talking about hypothetical money and hypothetical success. I make millions of dollars off of a platform that Timbaland puts my music on the platform, doesn't ask me for a penny. As a matter of fact, tells me, salute to you, let's work in the future, let's partner on the next thing that you got coming through. Now, we're not talking about hypothetical training, they still in the music, these hypothetical things. We talking about my record goes viral on his platform. I do a multi-million-dollar deal, Timbaland asked me for $0. So
but I'm talking about the majority of people. See, this is what we get into, where it's just like, okay, that's
hold on, Drew. Let's let John speak. Welcome to the chat, baby.
What's up? Hey, respect to everybody here.
Hey,
John, I respect you, bro. I respect. Hey, look, the reason I brought you live
because your post is crazy.
No. He didn't. We got
it. I mean it.
We got it. All right, we're gonna stand on it in this chat.
I mean everything about it, bro. I'm not double backing on it. Respect to your legacy, I would say. What I view this as right now is a betrayal to artists everywhere, bro. What you're doing is you're backdooring us. You got to a position of power, and instead of choosing to unionize and fight against this AI, which I'm not stupid. I use ChatGPT to script out screenplays, things like that. I use ChatGPT on a daily to think of content ideas, to do the menial task, the meaningless task that a robot should do. I'm a spiritual person, and I believe that artists all are tapped into a divine entity, right? When you go and you start creating and you allow some fucking robot to come in and finish your song, you're cutting yourself off from the divine. And let me not even get that deep with it. What I think you're doing is you're doing something that's, in a sense, demonic, bro. And I know it sounds like I'm exaggerating, but it feels demonic. You're choosing to go against us all and put this robot, instead of signing an artist, instead of having someone who has a voice that you could put on and put on your platform. All these motherfuckers you had on the live, all this cool shit you were doing, you choose to go in this direction.
John, did you just hear what I just did over there? I do that, John.
Hey, John.
And then you going by headlines, and I ain't do nothing. I ain't show you nothing. No, you going by headline. I ain't say nothing. That's why we up here. John, you just saw a picture. Correct? You ain't hear no music. You ain't hear me play nothing. You ain't hear me. You don't even know what I'm building. You just went off because you thinking I'm doing something with AI and you just upset. But you never asked me. You never asked me. Think about it, John. You know you're wrong. You never had a conversation with me. You just went off of a title. Everybody did.
Who posted it though? Who posted it?
Yeah, a guy, interviews, they're gonna make it look like something. We already knew this. We knew, but the conversation was to get this conversation of talking about AI. We're talking about something that people are not having a conversation about, and it's gonna leave us left behind if we don't figure out solutions. That's all I'm saying. I don't have an AI. How can I have an AI artist, John? It's nothing there.
So this is rage bait, bro?
No, it's not rage bait. No, I took something. I'm explaining what I did to make me come up with this idea. Because
brothers, this is what we're gonna do.
No, I don't think John is upset. Are you upset? You just talking.
I'm not upset.
Tim's not upset. He just talked like that.
I don't Guru think that we was arguing.
Look, real quick. What I'm saying, it's not as much you directly, it's anyone that stands on the side of what this is. If it's you, it's Guru, if it's the bald gentleman on the right, whoever it is.
But John, so you start saying I can't use a tool. Hold on. Just like I got this.
All I'm asking, listen.
I got this ASR here, so if I take my beat,
my brother, just listen. All I'm asking is that I disagree with Tim on the AI and the thing, but I'm being on here and I'm being respectful. So I'm asking you to be respectful to my brother. That's all I'm asking.
I don't think I said anything disrespectful.
He didn't go. He didn't. He's passionate, and I like passionate people. But what I'm trying to ask him, you telling me
the post was disrespectful. Look, the post was disrespectful.
But John, I felt you, dog. I felt where you was coming from. But I'm saying, but you can't just judge me because I'm not gonna just use a machine just for what it has in it. I'm just using it like this keyboard sampler. I'm telling it what to do. I'm still working.
But
I'm just helping me to elevate my word.
But look, John, to your point about cutting out artists under the hood, bro.
He wrote. If I'm writing something, the AI can't write it. He's a writer,
bro.
We're working together.
Look, movie credits have more people than most music credits. And what we're saying is when we take a music artist and add digital stuff to it, we're taking all the music people that were behind the scenes of it, all the credits of it, and we're adding even more humans to make visuals for it. So it's not necessarily.
Bro. I don't mean to cut you off. I just
replacing artists. It's not about replacing artists.
So what I'm familiar with when it comes to Suno, right? I got a homie. He's been seeing my posts. He's a construction worker. Nigga ain't made a song a day in his life. He gets on Suno. Matter of fact, he goes to ChatGPT. He's like, I want to make a song like blah, blah, blah. He takes that, puts it into Suno, uses his voice. Suno makes an entire song based off his voice. Now, do you guys think that that's even in the slightest okay? That's where I stand 100% against that. No matter what, that shit should not happen. This is it took me 15 years to learn how to fucking put these bars together, learn how to produce, to learn how to fucking shoot videos. It shouldn't be this quick thing that he's not an asshole, but some asshole comes on and can just write a prompt and now he can make a song. In no way is that okay. I mean, I understand there's a million different people that come along and have to be in a movie or what you're saying. I get what you're saying, bro. But the thing is, AI is not a collaborative thing. It's going to take away from collaboration. Why would I, say if I'm an asshole, right? Why would I wanna go out to LA to meet up with a bass player to work on some amazing music, have that in-person vibe, if I could just type in a fucking prompt? Why would I do that? You get what I'm saying? The cause and effect of this is nuclear. It's Oppenheimer shit, bro. Like, what I'm looking at you as is Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer didn't even know what the fuck he was doing. He was just having he just did some dumb shit and fucking ruined the world. He unleashed something that ruined the world.
I was going to get to that point later with the AI, but I'm letting you cook. Go ahead.
Go ahead, cook, John. I like how you cook it. But John, don't be afraid, man. God dang, man. Let me give you a solution. God, but go ahead, get it off your chest so we can help you out.
Nah,
look. I feel you with your homeboy coming to you. I do, cause that's how I felt the same way. Right?
That shit is horrible, bro.
It's like when I look at that, it's like the karaoke side, like it's a powerful tool.
But you also talking to somebody who had to watch other people take his beat patterns and sound before AI. You know what I'm saying? How many people took a Timbaland?
That's influence, bro. That's influence. You want that? Why would you? You gotta look at that and be like, what is the fucking saying?
So it's influence.
That's influence. That's not. When I listen to Kanye, when I listen to Timbo, when I listen to Drake, Jay-Z, all these, that's an influence. When I listen to Cole, Kendrick, those are influences. I'm not like, of course you're gonna have the dickhead who's gonna steal the music, steal the sound, but no one gives a fuck about that guy. No one's listening to that. No one cares about that guy who's stealing.
Bro, it's the same thing, man. Like Tim had to come up with that stutter pattern to get up off sleeping off the ground. You know what I'm saying? And somebody comes to him and says, yo, you know what we should do? You know that? Yo, yeah, it sounds just like the Timbaland. And then that happened before AI.
But we called them out at the time.
No, we don't.
Exactly.
Who we call out?
We called them out.
You call them out.
Hold on, bro. Tim, did you get publishing?
Did I get published?
No, Tim, I'm talking to Tim.
No, I didn't. Not for the style or the pattern. I didn't.
But that's the thing, bro. Sometimes you're not gonna. Do you think?
But sometimes you're not gonna what?
I didn't. I was like, damn. I was like, damn. All I could do was like, damn. That's all I was damn.
It ain't about copyright. It's about having
influence.
It ain't about
and I respected that. But look,
that's my.
I couldn't get nothing from it when I tried. Like, but damn, ain't that mine? But damn.
You're literally making my argument that you should have gotten production credit for that. You should have gotten paid for it. That's the same thing we saying with AI. Is that if you're gonna take my shit, then I should.
Well, that's what he was saying. That's what he. Okay, but he said his man. That's what. Okay, he said his man's made a song. What are we saying? Okay, that particular song. What did that song replicate?
Whatever
it replicated some other artist. It used.
Okay.
AI is a mirror. Is it a
mirror or is it a machine that can play any instrument, do anything along? Hold on. Along with that information.
Can't do it.
Huh?
If we've never produced it, all it's doing is copying what we doing.
Hey,
if we never
that Guru, hold on, Guru. You know, okay, I'm gonna go to this, Guru. Remember the plug-in machines, the hardware like Planet Fat. Remember them?
Yes.
Okay, then when you press that button, that idiot button, do, that bitch started playing, didn't it? Okay, what switch? Bam. That was in there. That was part of starting to take rhythms of people and started to implement. That was the start of it.
At the same time, you gotta say, yo, he should have gave credit to the person that made that preset.
They did. That started back then. That rolling.
Okay,
you hit that button.
I get it.
But what I'm trying to say is the machine was already learning.
I've been telling you.
The machine was programmed. If you guys are talking about something from back then, it was programmed.
It's about giving credit to the person.
No, man, because you can hit that shit. That shit do random.
But that's the thing. It's programmed to do random. It's
no, man. I think because it's digital. How do we know that?
I'm telling you, listen, bro, I obsess over this shit. I study this shit constantly. I'm not in any way, shape, or form some genius, but I know at this point, you feed it something, it feeds you back everything it was fed in different ways.
No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm saying you're right about that.
Are we saying to not use it? Should we unplug our?
No. Okay, so
what I'm trying to establish is the fair way to use it. Again, I said AI is here. There's no way we gonna stop it. There's no way.
No. I disagree, bro. Guru, I disagree, bro. I disagree, man.
Why do you disagree?
I think there's a way to stop it. I think we all, as artists, make the conscious decision.
Oh my God, it's a global community of artists.
It's bigger than that. But
you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. Excuse me, I don't mean to cut you. I'm sorry, bro.
No, go ahead, John. Go ahead.
I want to explain to you. Let everybody be silent and let you speak again, so the children can see us build. So make your point.
Copy. I'll get silent right after this. What I'm saying, quick run. AI, first off, is not, until it becomes artificial general intelligence, then it can think for itself. Which is happening right now. It's starting to replicate itself, and they're doing experiments to see if it's thinking yet. And it's before it gets deleted, it'll replicate itself into a different position. So it's pretty much at AGI. Now at that point, we're cooked. Humanity is cooked, right? It can create its own thing. But what I'm saying is real quick, I don't think in any way, shape, or form we should use AI to replace creativity. That's what I'm saying.
No.
Should we use AI to?
I'm talking about to double down on creativity, to get more bang out your buck. To double down,
bro. You can't get what I'm.
But Tim, let him cook.
All right, go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, cook.
My construction worker friend, right? Let's just use him as an example. He is literally talentless in that realm. He's a great construction worker, I'm assuming, but he has no talent when it comes to this. He is not a musician. He should not have the capability to type in a prompt, and get a full mixed mastered song. There's so many jobs on that line that are now, Suno is the real demon here, is my point. There's so many jobs that die out since he's able to do that.
But John,
should he be able to use AI to, hold on one second. Should he be able to use AI to be like, okay, help me learn music theory? Yes. Should he be able to use AI to say, teach me how Beethoven did blah, blah, blah? Yes. Should he use AI to make learning way easier and more precise to where he's trying to get to? Absolutely. AI is a tool that can free humanity of the powers that be. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It levels the playing field if we as artists, we as painters, we as graphic designers unionize and say, nah, we're not going to let you fucking cocksucking CEOs take from us and use us and create fucking AI artists. Granted, bro, you're saying that's not what you're doing?
I'm not. The artist can't, bro. I'm creating a world.
Listen.
Look, bro, we can create worlds, bro. It's still an artist, but it's like goddamn. Ballerina is an artist. John Wick is an artist, bro. You can create worlds now. Ain't just.
If you're saying you're not creating an AI artist, granted, that's not what you're doing, but that's you, bro. What you did is you incepted an idea into, say, Suno. I don't know who the CEO of Suno is, but that piece of shit is going to sit there. Now he's thinking, maybe we can have an AI artist.
So look. Before we get pitchforks out, right? Again, it's a global music community. There's a global AI push. And again, there's no putting these things back in the box. So it's not about Asuno or any tool. These things were going to happen, and like I mentioned earlier, the session musicians that used to get paid for hanging around the studio and recording bass lines and guitar licks, those guys got sent home, and the sampler machine stayed in the building. So like this has happened before. You see what I'm saying? And all I'm saying is like we can't be surprised when technology does this because